I welcome the retraction by the former PSNI officer known as Sean of accusations of sectarianism against the PSNI. But let's be clear, this was not just a case of false testimony, it was a calculated effort to tarnish good officers both serving and retired. The handling of it by PSNI leadership, the policing board members, among whom only Alan Chambers spoke out, and the Justice Minister has been nothing short of disgraceful. In January, the Deputy Chief Constable branded the alleged conduct as disgraceful. By April, the Chief Constable claimed he was neutral, even though by then the claims had already begun to fall apart. When we got to the May Policing Board, at which stage the evidence against Sean's story was overwhelming, the Chief Constable described him as a thoroughly decent man. Why? Because he met Sean privately in his lawyer's office. A day later, Sean doubled down publicly and said he stood over every word. Why were the TSG officers, those whose reputations were dragged through the mud, never publicly defended? Why the silence while their names were blackened? Why did the Chief Constable agree to an anonymous survey into issues like sectarianism and sexism based on evidence as flawed as this? It's perverse. And it was exactly the outcome those behind this campaign intended. The media's role must also be examined. The Belfast Telegraph published a baseless story. When the rebuttals came, the counter-evidence mounted, and the truth emerged, they said nothing. Only the newsletter stood up. These officers deserve a public apology. The SDLP must also answer questions within weeks of Sean's original allegations. They were calling for a new PSNI review, employing the language of cultural relics. Were they briefed by the same agenda-driven actors who weaponised this falsehood? Let's be honest, without a private investigation, a relentless campaign and courageous retired officers standing up, this lie would still be on the public record. We need a full PSNI investigation into the motives, the networks and the actors inside and outside the police who helped orchestrate this campaign. And we need a Justice Minister prepared to defend PSNI officers who are unjustly smeared. The board were limp, the media were used, the PSNI leadership failed decent officers. The Justice Minister was, and at the time of speaking here today, is silent. None of that is good enough. But we will not let it rest there. Today I have tabled an urgent oral which in 2 days should give us a response from the Justice Minister. That is to keep a focus on this issue.